What's up, guys? So this is my Max Payne 3 campaign playthrough, I beat it, last night, and I'm gonna be giving you guys my review. So this is only a campaign review. I don't do multiplayer reviews. You guys know that. So, from right from the start, all right. Leading up to Max Payne's release, I was like really hyped for it, really excited. I was actually so excited to the point that I went and bought the first Max Payne and the second one on Steam. They're having a sale. I think I got them for both. I think I got them for like $7, both of them, and they're having a really good deal. And I said, well, since it is a sequel, as I might as well just go ahead and get the first two. And the first one, is definitely a very memorable title. When a lot of people think about a third-person dividing game back on the PC, a lot of people, think of Max Payne. It's just like one of those games that everyone basically has played. Um, I was a lot younger back then, so I missed out on that release, and as well as Max Payne 2. But I played the first Max Payne, and I was like, wow. Okay, Max Payne, the original Max Payne was one of the hardest games I've ever played. And I had to use the mouse and keyboard because, it didn't have gamepad support back then. I could have bought it on PS2, but it was probably cheaper for me just to buy it on Steam anyway. And not to mention that Max Payne originally was a PC exclusive game, and then Rockstar just ported it onto consoles. But I beat the first one, and it was very challenging, like one of the hardest games I've ever played. And that was due to lots of enemies going around, and you had to be pinpoint accurate with the mouse, and slow motion, and there's a lot of people throwing Molotovs at you that you would always catch on fire on, and it was a very difficult game. But by the time you beat it, I thought the ending was they ended it in a pretty cool way. Definitely, with the helicopter scene and everything like that. And it had a pretty good story. I think the thing that really caught a lot of people's attention when it came to the first Max Payne was not only was it the game that pretty much perfected, I think as well started. I don't know if it absolutely started, but I think it also started bullet time. But if it didn't, it damn well perfected it. And it had that really interesting story with the really unique comic book style cutscenes that they use. It was basically just you have like a little box here, and it'd be like comic book art with like little speech bubbles coming out of people's mouth, and then you hear voiceovers, and then that would just drive the story forward, and it was pretty interesting. And definitely Max Payne's narrative, was just a very unique, interesting experience. I think a lot of people that actually was made the game memorable to a lot of people. And with Max Payne 2 on its release, because Remedy actually developed the first Max Payne, and they actually moved on to create Alan Wake. Um, so they left. So Rockstar basically picked up the series, and they made Max Payne 2: The Fall of Max Payne. Now with a title like The Fall of Max Payne, you kind of expected it to be the last Max Payne, and then with a title like that, I was kind of going into it. I was like, well, why did they name it kind of that? It seems like it would kind of end with that title, The Fall of Max Payne. But the second one, a lot of people that I talked to didn't like it compared to the first one. They thought it was a good game, but they actually liked the first one a lot better. And you know, I'm kind of going away from the group here, but I actually enjoyed Max Payne 2 more than the first one, and I think it was because the gameplay was significantly improved. Uh, when you bullet dodging in Max Payne, was always fun. And in Max Payne 2, when you kind of bullet dodged, you kind of hovered in the air. It was like it felt more refined. It felt better in terms of control when you did bullet dodge in Max Payne 2. Um, at the same time, I think Rockstar really stayed true to its roots, and that kind of with the way it played and everything like that. But and then the ending of Max Payne 2 was actually I liked it a lot better. It kind of had like a happy ending, but it also kind of ended this series. Well, it kind of it could have been, an end to this series with the last words he said. So now with Max Payne 3, I'm sorry for that long recap, but I just wanted to get, I wanted to say those things. But now with Max Payne 3's release, I was super excited to play it, and I was really, because of the campaign, it looked outstanding, and the story looked really, really gripping, and the gameplay, looked very, very fun as well. But I looked at the game and I'm like, and I heard a lot of people say, that it plays just like the original Max Payne's, and when I'm playing the game, I realized that okay, there's a lot of things like I thought they were gonna have like a weight system for Max. At least that's how the game looked. It looked like it was gonna have some sort of weight system to Max, but they managed to keep it realistic, and what I mean by that is all of his movements and stuff like that. They used a blend of motion capture, and then they used Natural Motion's Euphoria engine, which is Rockstar's proprietary physics engine. So they used Euphoria, and that they were kind of pushing the physics, and how when Max is running away shooting, he'll kind of switch his feet position to and twist his body to make it look like more comfortable instead of just doing some weird animation or something, as well as when he hits like an object, when he's bullet dodging towards the wall, you can see as he kind of like scrounges up like this and just he hits his head on the wall, and you can see that kind of reaction, and that's what I think is pretty cool, is because they kept that same arcadey feel, but at the same time they added that really realistic sense of that this is actually a character, even though he can do a lot of cool things. So as far as the story goes, I liked the Max Payne 3 story a lot, and I thought that it stayed really true to the game's roots. They kind of made it modern in a sense. They took those graphic novel cutscenes, right, from Max Payne and Max Payne 2, and they turned them into motion comics almost. So you have a cutscene, and then like all of a sudden it'll push that part of the cutscene, it'll stop, and it'll push the part of the cutscene to like a small box, and then it will continue over here. And they have text constantly popping up during the screen and in gameplay as well. So they really tried to go very, they really tried to implement a very unique style into the cutscenes, and that was pretty awesome as well. It was very enjoyable. Now also, at the same time with that, all those effects and all the weird, text and everything, it looks great to watch. It's definitely a very unique way, a unique sense of being able to watch a cutscene. But at there's certain points in the game where it's just kind of too much, and they kind of oversaturated with it. One of the scenes, the nightclub, for instance, at the beginning of the game when you're in the nightclub and you're shooting your way through, and those cutscenes, it's like you have all these lights flashing, and then the screen's like doing all these weird video effects. I mean, I said it once in my playthrough. I'm like, it's a little bit too much, and it's kind of disorienting. It's kind of like you kind of watch it, and then you just have to close your eyes for a sec, and then you continue watching it. Sometimes it's too much, like on your eyes and on your brain, like to the point where you're just like, okay, I gotta stop looking. That's how I felt. Like I just thought that I thought that it was nice. It was a very unique sense of editing effects, but at the same time it was too much. It was a little bit too much. Um, at the same time, I don't think that really took away from the storytelling. Uh, so it didn't really ruin the experience for me at all. It was just kind of annoying when you're watching something, and then when you have lights flashing in a nightclub, and then you have all these video effects like flashing on the screen. The screen's like shaking different places, and you can see like just it doubles of everything. It's a little bit too much at times, but at the same time, it didn't take away drastically from anything. So in that respect, they actually did accomplish what they wanted to accomplish. A very unique way of storytelling. Graphically, now, I haven't played the console versions. I haven't seen the actual console version in person. But I played it on my PC, and the reason I got it for PC was not really because of the graphics. It was because I owned the first two Max Payne games on the PC, and also Max Payne was an exclusive PC game before Rockstar ported it to consoles. So I was like, alright, fine, since I played the first two on PC, and since it's really a PC exclusive game, I'll just get it for PC. And I forced myself to wait 2 weeks, being that I was really excited to play. I was like, fine, I'll force myself to wait 2 weeks. And it kind of it was kind of better that I did that because the time that Max Payne came out, I had my final test and final studying stuff going on for school, so I was kind of too busy to really delve into the game at that time anyway. But by the time it actually came out on PC, I was fine. Um, but uh, the graphics are they're pretty good. They're not the best I've ever seen, but they are like there's some just really good detail on there, like some really impressive detail. Hmm. Um, One thing, I was playing with everything turned on high at 1080p with DirectX 11 and tessellation, all that turned on. And I was getting 60 frames per second comfortably, and that was on my GTX 560 Ti. So, but the actual graphics, like they have they look good, like they really do look good, but then they have some really impressive effects that I think just really nail it down. Um, Many times during my playthrough, I mentioned that like Max actually, you can actually see sweat on his face, and even when it's raining, and one of the levels when on the docks, on the dock level, when it's raining and you're shooting your way through, you can see on his face during like the cutscenes and just in gameplay in general, you can see the rain just dripping down off of his face and really kind of being interactive with the character, and that stopped myself a couple of times. I said it during the playthrough, plenty of times. Like, they really did a good job making him look very believable, and with the sweat and the rain just dripping down off of his face, you can see that, and you're like, wow, that's really impressive. Like, how often do you see, you know, even when it's raining, like how often do you see just rain dripping down the character's face? It's like not a lot of games have done that. Even like Uncharted 3, which has really fantastic water effects, but at the same time, it's kind of limited by consoles. But in that respect, Max Payne did a fantastic job as far as graphics goes. Beautiful graphics. The character models look fantastic. What the game does is to hide the loading screens, or this is what they claim. There's no loading screens in the game whatsoever. It's a constant, seamless flow of cutscenes to gameplay. That was one of the things that they were pushing with the game. But during the what they use for the cutscenes is they actually use the in-game engine for all the cutscenes. So the character models in the game and in the cutscenes look the same because they are the same. It's all being run on the in-game engine. It's not like a special video that they went and edited afterwards. And it's not like you get to a point, black screen, then cutscene, black screen, and then gameplay. It's you get to a point, cutscene happens, and then a seamless transition from cutscene to gameplay, and that's really nice. It helps really um, drive the narrative and the story forward. So in that respect, graphics and as far as the video effects and the cutscenes and everything like that, they really did a fantastic job. So um, A+ for them as far as graphics go. They really did push the engine, and I'm excited what they're going to be doing for Grand Theft Auto 5 in terms of graphics because even though Max Payne is a linear game compared to other Rockstar titles like GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption, they've always done something to. There's always been a gimmick with all their games. It's always been something that they always pushed, and with Max Payne 3, it's their physics engine and stuff like that. They really upgraded, and hopefully with Grand Theft Auto 5, we'll see that big push for as far as graphics go in very open world games. So that'll be nice. Uh, Gameplay, now at the same time, Max feels like this isn't arcade shooters. This isn't like realistic. Max doesn't have any weight system to him, like I said before. But at the same time, like I stated, they kept that realistic animation going. So what you're getting is you're getting the feel of a classic Max Payne character that you would expect from Max Payne and Max Payne 2. All right, you're getting that same feeling, but at the same time, when you're looking on screen, you're getting a very realistic view at what this character would actually be doing with the environment and stuff like that. And it plays fantastic. I wouldn't say it plays bad at all. It really does play very well considering, and the animation system, you hardly notice that he's actually moving in a believable way because he feels just like he did, years back when Max Payne 2. He feels just like that with that arcadey feel and motion, and that really helps. Uh, they added a cover system, which I will say is definitely helpful. You can play this game like a typical third-person shooter, although I will say that the actual shootouts without without bullet time, the actual shootouts, they seem to be much more fast-paced and much more intense than I would say any other third-person shooter this year, definitely. And when you play a third-person shooter that doesn't have bullet time effects, like Gears of War, for instance, I mean, you're playing it, but you're in shootouts, but it never really feels like intense, fast-paced. I mean, they really did a fantastic job making you feel like bullet time is like really helpful, and during regular shootouts, I mean, I couldn't really, I can't imagine myself playing the game without using bullet time at all. It's just like it's a little bit, the intense shootouts, the regular shootouts without bullet time are just they're so fast paced and so intense, and you can hear bullets like whizzing by you. Like they did a fantastic job with the sound design, and you can hear those bullets, that are screaming by you as they barely hit you, and it makes you it kind of forces you to use your bullet time mechanic, and just the intense shootouts, are definitely a plus. Because you really do feel like you're suppressed and you're under fire, and that bullet time is just it's like this game couldn't have been done without bullet time. Um, it's Max Payne game, so obviously it's gonna have one. But what I mean by that is like this game, if they kept it without bullet time and they didn't call it Max Payne, it was just a game without bullet time, right? It'd probably be one of the most intense third-person shooters like I've ever played. But it's fun. The bullet time is great. The shooting mechanics work well. The cover system is definitely useful, and they really do stay true to that roots. Racing guys outstairs, outside. So they really do stay true to those roots. Now there's a couple of things that really pissed me off throughout the campaign. The first of which is the checkpoints. Before, a lot of you guys say, well, it's a hard game, it's supposed to be challenging. I played the first Max Payne, Max Payne 2. For those of you who didn't play Max Payne and Max Payne 2, those were challenging games. And the problem I don't have is where the checkpoints are placed. The problem is that Rockstar Games, for whatever reason, decided to drop the quick save option. And Max Payne has always had horrible checkpoints, right? But really the game always allowed you just to quick save wherever you wanted, and I knew it didn't have it on consoles. When it came out, a lot of people were like, it doesn't have quick save, and I was like, I thought it was just a console limitation. And then I was like, okay, well they probably will have it on PC, right? And I'm like hoping for that, but no, there's no quick save option on the PC. I was looking in the manual. I pressed F5. I pressed I was looking everywhere. There's in the start menu. There's no quick save option. You can't save wherever you want to save. And for a game like Max Payne, that always had that feature and it was always helpful because of that. Because without the quick save option, the checkpoints, like I got Max Payne 2, I got through halfway on the first level, right? All of a sudden, I died. I didn't quick save. It started me at the beginning of the level. I just turned the game off at that point. I didn't even bother screaming. But Max Payne is always, it's always had checkpoints that were like that. And it was always acceptable because you could save wherever you want. Well, they removed that feature. And it's like, why would you remove that feature? That was like, that for the people who like to save a lot, for the people who actually remember to save, who use the feature properly, it was helpful. It was always, it made the game bearable as far as checkpoints go. And it's like, but they removed that feature completely. I don't know why they did that, especially for the PC version. If it's a console limitation, fine. But on the PC version, where you can basically do anything, it's like, why would you do that? Why would you remove the quick save option? It doesn't make sense. That being said, a lot of times you're going to die, and you're going to have to start at the beginning of that fight. For example, there's like huge firefights that erupt, and you'll get through like you'll get killed by like the last guy in this huge intense firefight that you fought, and then you'll get restarted at the beginning of the level. It's frustrating. So I mean, I don't know why they did that, but that's definitely an annoyance. Um, like I said, a little bit too much on the video effects, but yeah, there. I mean, as far as the game itself, it's not broken. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's very it stays true to the Max Payne games, and I think that's what a lot of people wanted. They wanted something challenging, and this game is definitely challenging, but they wanted something challenging and something that stayed true to the roots of the series, and that's exactly what Rockstar did. Um, never mind the the challenge of the game. Yeah, it's challenging, but Max Payne has always been challenging. It's kind of like if you played Max Payne and Max Payne 2, you would already expect the game to be challenging. So, but like I said, they removed the quick save feature, which is just wasn't a good idea in my opinion. I don't know why they did that, but they did. But that's it. That's my review. I'm gonna give the game a 9 out of 10. And I think you should definitely pick it up. As far as a campaign game goes, it's great. Is it the best game to release this year? No, no, I don't think it is. So, but it's definitely something that shouldn't be overlooked as far as campaigns go. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about the game, and yeah, talk to you later. Bye.